Graphing Ideas in Science Part 2 is brought to you by the Professional Development Team at Oxford University Press, Pakistan. Graphic organizers help students develop critical and creative thinking skills to understand information inside and outside classrooms. Graphic organizers require students to analyze information presented and make sense of it. In this video, we'll take a look at a few more graphic organizers that can be used to understand scientific concepts. The first one is the 5 W's. This is a question from Unit 4 Classification of Living Things from New Oxford Primary Science Book 5. Search the internet or books in the library to collect and compile interesting facts about insects. Share these facts by putting together a booklet entitled Insects Are Amazing. Let's see how we can use the 5 W's to make this booklet. Why are insects important? When did insects develop wings? Where can insects be found? What foods do insects eat? Who is an entomologist? The students can make this booklet by answering these questions, and these are just a few example questions. Students can come up with questions of their own. This organizer helps students in improving their research and problem-solving skills, whether used independently or in pairs or groups. The second graphic organizer is the Venn diagram, and this is a question from Unit 1, The Human Body, from New Oxford Primary Science Book 4. Differentiate between voluntary and involuntary muscles and give an example of each. Let's see how we can make a Venn diagram, use a Venn diagram to answer this question, and compare voluntary muscles with involuntary muscles. The part of the circles that do not overlap is where we write the differences between these two muscles, and the part where the circles overlap is where we write down the similarities between these two. Let's take a look at a few differences for voluntary muscles, where movement is under our control. The second difference is that they're attached to the bone by tendons, and an example is stomach muscles. Involuntary muscles work automatically. The second difference is that they are attached to each other and not to the bone, and an example is biceps. The similarity between both these muscles is that they support the skeleton. This organizer helps in clarifying similarities and differences among concepts or information presented. The third graphic organizer is timeline. This is a question from Unit 5, The Life Cycle of a Plant, from New Oxford Primary Science Book 3. Cut the top off a carrot and put it in a saucer of water. How long will it take for new leaves to appear? Leave the saucer in a sunny place and put more water in it every day. Keep a diary of what happens. Write about the experiment and draw pictures. Let's see how a timeline can be used to answer this question. For example, the student writes down day 1 and writes down no change because that's the day when he or she has started the experiment. Then on day 2, they see that the tiny green leaves start appearing on the carrot top. Day 7, for example, they write down more leaves appear. And in day 14, they write down their observation that the leaves grow taller in size, and they continue with this timeline as suggested by the teacher for a month or 2. Timelines develop an understanding in students about how things grow and change with time. They also help them make connections, recognize patterns, and enhances their decision-making skills. The fourth graphic organizer is a mind map. And this is a question from Unit 2, Health and Safety, from New Oxford Primary Science Book 2. Discuss and answer. Make a list of foods you like to eat. Compare your list with your classmates' lists. Which foods are healthy and which are junk foods? Let's see how a mind map can be constructed to answer this question. The student writes down in the middle, in the box in the middle of the mind map, foods I like, and then they write down the foods that they like in the boxes around the main box. Lay's Frenchies, for example, mango, chicken burger, cornflakes and milk, biryani, tomato, and when they compare their mind map with their classmates, they can then color the junk foods in red and the healthy foods in green. Mind maps can also be used for brainstorming ideas, summarizing or revising concepts. Thank you.